All righty, 5150 Adventures. Here we go. The next project is underway as of today. We have parts on the way, and we are going to do some really, really cool stuff. I cannot wait for y'all to see what we're about to do. This is going to be awesome. So stay tuned, because this is going to be cool.
In the mix, say what? Sidewalk popping, got my sneakers doing tricks. Hey, we riding real smooth, so smooth. California grooves, west side. BBQ's fired up, bring your retro.
Alrighty, 5150 Adventures folk. Today's episode begins the dawn of a new day. Something I've wanted to work on for a long time, and finally it has come to fruition. Today we're going to start working on the 52 Chevy. This is the wife's truck. Her grandpa and her mom and dad, they all built this truck way back when it was her first vehicle. And it's been sat in a barn and in a field and just about everywhere you could imagine. A driveway most recently, and now our shop. So today what we're going to do is we're going to start working on this little girl. Now I'm going to go through what it's got, front, rear, and a short little burst here, so stick with me on this a little bit. So from what I've been told, and this is a mix between her grandpa, her dad, and her and everybody telling me information about this truck. Her grandpa said it was a 383 small block Chevy with a RV cam. So it's not really a true 383, but it's pretty close. Her dad told me it was a turbo 350 trans. It is a 52 cab and chassis. It's got a Mustang 2 front end underneath it, and her mom had told me that, and so did my wife, when they got it, it was a previous race truck. It's got coil springs in the front and air shocks from back in the day in the rear. I fixed those once, but they don't hold air, and if we're going to use it to go through drive to like car shows and stuff, we need to have that part working. The other thing is my cousin, and you guys will probably see and meet him very soon. He had some parts that from a build that he was going to do and backed out and changed the direction on it. He's like, hey man, I got all this stuff. You'd go good in that 52. Would you like it? I said, yeah. He came by today. We talked about what we're going to do with it and the race truck. He's going to be coming in onto the channel a little bit more. So we're going to go through this. This is what is supposed to be the 383 with the RV cam. It does have a little bit of a lope, real tiny, so it's not bad. Well, my cousin needed a carburetor that could just bolt onto a 305, so we're trading him this for a 750 with vacuum secondaries. Then he's also got a cam for it and everything to reseal this. So we're going to start with that. One very cool thing we're going to do is he has the 6AL Ultra Plus, and that will read so much and allow us to dial in the timing way better than just throwing a timing light on it and kind of guessing. The cam has a 4.7 swap. The only thing I really have to buy for this is valve springs, lifters, and a MSD Billet Pro distributor. Now, if we wanted to, we could go with EFI, but I want to keep it carbureted for now, keep it simple. Especially since the wife wants to retain the fuel tank behind the seat. That is very nostalgic, and I appreciate her for that. One of the things that I might do is we may end up putting AC on this machine. And I'm kind of excited to do that because having not a factory AC, where it had the factory AC for this would have been windows down and go as fast as you can. But there is a AC out there by Vintage Air that will bolt right up to this. It'll do your heat, your AC, and it's completely bolt on, ready to roll. So we're going to probably do that as well. One problem this thing has had is the brakes. The brakes fade bad. So we're going to fix that. We're going to put a new master brake cylinder on it, and we're going to put new brake cylinders on the rear and new discs and calipers in the front if they need it. As far as that goes, that's where we're at. Now, they did switch this from round headlights to square. I like it. I think it makes it look different. It stands out more. Love it or hate it, they're staying. The wife really wants them to stay. They've grown on me. I figured put the old round ones back on, but looking at it, it looks pretty cool. And I'm going to move the Harley so you guys can get a better look on this here in a minute. But we're going to start by getting everything apart, getting all of the hardware into Ziploc bags, and get that front clip off so we can pull the engine without having any body damage. That's the one thing I want to keep. Now, even inside, everything's pretty well stock, other than it does have a low car shift lever that is really cool. Makes it look like a standard, but it is an automatic. It has park, reverse, neutral, drive, 1, 2, just like they did, and all the gauges are down here. I do like that in some aspects, but I think we may update to newer gauges, and hopefully I can find a cable that will work for that, or if I can find a GPS style speedometer so that we can keep that, that would be cool. I would like all the gauges to work and it look clean in there. I don't know how far we're going to go on painting it right away, but if we can get an engine in it and suspension work done and stuff like that, I think it would be a pretty fair, easy build at that point. But stick with me, because here directly, we're going to be tearing into this thing, and it's going to happen just about as fast as the Jeep did, I have a feeling. But alrighty guys, I have got the 52 moved out just a little bit. I've got some tools set up. We're going to start by taking the carburetor off possibly, or we may start getting ready to take the hood. I'm going to start getting some Ziploc bags ready so as I can mark, label, and store everything accordingly. How it comes off is how it's getting put away. We're going to use one of these drawers right here so that as it comes off, it goes in. That way, every time we take something off, it's in order of how it came off, so that once we go back together, all we have to do is use that same hardware and methodically put it back together. Now, she does want to keep it copper colored, which is perfectly fine with me. I like the color. Need some help. We might be able to do some body work on it, because we do have some cracking, and some of that is because there's probably 5 pounds of Bondo on between both fenders. But custom work, sometimes back in the day, that's how they got away with it. So we will fix that and make it right. And we're going to keep the 4 headlights and make it look really good. But for now, we need to start planning on how we're going to get the engine out, because that is a big engine in a tiny space. So we will continue on.
Palm trees swaying with the ocean as my guide. Top down riding, let the West Coast vibes collide. Corner store stops, grab a drink, it's all good. Cruising through the streets of my neighborhood. Hey yo, West Coast weather, the sun sets slow. Say what? Chilling with the homies, let that talk box glow. Barbecues and palm trees, vibe real tight. Retro beats bumping beneath the moon tonight. Cali breeze blowing, let the funk take the floor. Some so smooth, leave them shouting for more. Beach chair chilling, toes dug in the sand, with that bass line grooving.
Alrighty guys, I've been hard at it, as you can see by the mediocre pile of parts. I got the engine fan off the belt, water pump pulley, alternator, and carburetor. So what does it look like now? Looks like a whole lot more room than what I had. So I have tape over the intake because we will be having another carburetor here soon, but that's the least of the worries at the moment because that is getting replaced with something better, along with a bunch of parts inside this motor. With that being said, the parts going in this engine, when they show up, I will have more information on it. Carrington has a lot more parts than I thought. He's got a list for me. I guess ARP head studs, he's got a high volume, high pressure oil pump, he's got a big cam that is a 4.7 swap cam. It will be perfect for what we're doing with this. I will have to buy a converter. Found one for like 400 bucks. Not a big deal, it's a common stall. So we're just gonna keep plugging away. All right, guys, I've continued on this evening. This is the last part of it for the night because it is getting late. Don't need the music loud for the neighbors. But we got the radiator out. We got pretty much everything tore down to a point to where now I got to jack up the bottom of the vehicle, put it on jack stands, and start disconnecting everything else so we can get the transmission and the engine out in one shot. Then once I get all that stuff undid and the drive line down and out and all that, I need to get this front section dealt with. This is my first time tearing down a 52 to this point, so I am wanting to slowly take this apart so I don't ruin anything. Some of this is all original, some of it might not be, I don't know. Nonetheless, I don't want to ruin it. Alright guys, I wanted to go over the parts list because I forgot to put it in the video. I'm going to stab this in really quick, but what all we got is we got a 4.7 swap cam. It's a SUM 1205. Head bolts that are made by ARP, pickup strain, lifters, standard pressure, high volume pump, 30 over rings just in case we have to punch it over. We have the stud that goes from the oil pump up to the distributor, and the timing gears. Now, these are actual timing gears, not timing chain, because we wanted it to have that cheap blower whine, but I think it sounds cool regardless. It just sounds like a blower running down the road. So we're going to try that. So those are all the parts, and it is really nice to know that it actually has a turbo 400 behind it, not a turbo 350. And with the aftermarket pan, I'm guessing it has just a little bit more than stock build on it, but we'll find that out once we start driving it around more than just up a trailer and then off the trailer into here type situation. So, all right, guys, well, we pushed pretty hard last night and we got the radiator, the front structure stuff off of the 52, other than the power steering pump, because it is kind of seized on and we can't get it to move to loosen the belt up. But as you can see, pretty emptied up here. Got the radiator out and all that. Getting those hoses off was very difficult. Whoever decided to use braided stuff over rubber hoses, do not like you. That stuff is not fun to get off. So we're going to actually put actual AN line on there, most likely. That way it looks really good. But aside from that, this is where we got. Alrighty guys, well, we have been busy. I got the mother-in-law's Peterbilt in some color. We still have one more to do. Got to wait a little bit for the paint to cure. But I got more parts in. I got new lifters and timing gears, just because I want it to be loud and noisy, and why not? And we got it up in the air. And then the other thing that we got is pretty cool, that I thought anyways. They're ported and matched heads with 62 cc chambers in them, and they are camel humps. With that being said, not only are they camel humps, they got dual valve springs already in them that are plenty enough for what the cam is that we have for it. And with them being ported and polished on the inside or whatever, I don't think they're polished, but they're definitely ported. You can see the markings on them. It will help with flow and performance. Now, with some math, we should be around 450, 475, which is going to be right at the limits of the Turbo 350 that we believe is in this truck. We're going to find out here in a minute. And the only thing left I have to order is torque converter. Because with the new cam, the torque converter needs to be at 3,400 stall. So we're going to work on that probably tail end of next week, the week after that. But first things first, we're going to start getting this engine pulled. So we have pretty well everything underneath the truck done, other than getting the shift cable stuff done. It's actually not a shift cable, it's a shift linkage, because it's the low car mount to the top of the transmission style shifter. So we're gonna get the shifter undone probably in the next day or two. We have the hood is off, and we have the manifolds loose. So literally the only thing holding this in is the front motor mounts, one here, one there, and the transmission mount, other than the shift cable stuff. So once I get the shifter out, then what I will do is I will drop the transmission mount down and get it disconnected, and then pull this out. Now, I do have to take this off, I believe, so I'm going to look into how I got to do that. Other than that, we are making progress. We're looking inside here, and I'm not liking that. I don't know how deep they are, but they don't look very good. Makes me kind of nervous, but I cannot see any stat marks, so I'm wondering if it's standard bore. This side doesn't look horrible, but that right there makes me nervous on cylinder 2. Or actually 3, but that is not looking very good. Now, it has sat for a minute, and that could just be rust marks. I don't know. We're going to find out when we tear it apart. But we also did find other issues, and one of those issues is that right there. If you look at where the lifter meets the cam lobe, there is chips missing, and then you can see where at one point it was sitting for a while and may have messed up the lifter on the left hand side. So we found that. Now, I did go in where the distributor goes in, and that camera will actually bend itself up, and I went and looked inside the nearest piston bore that I could see, and the bottom of that piston has been sanded and balanced. And then I kind of angled it into the other side and looked up, same thing. So somebody has balanced it, but it probably needs new rings, and I may need to bore it over. Either way, it's stuff we can do and have done right here locally. So we're going to concentrate on getting the next part done, which is going to be taking the front of the core support out, the hood off, so that we can start pulling an engine, because with that stuff being the way it is, I would rather just pull everything, freshen it up, see how bad those scratches are that we're seeing. Maybe it's just rust marks from it sitting for a minute. I don't know. But I want to look at it and see where we're going to have to go with that. So please stay tuned. And once we come back, we'll have an engine on its way out. Alrighty, guys. Well, this is going to wrap up my video for this portion of the 52 build. We will have a whole lot more coming at you guys. Like I said, if you didn't make it to this part of the video, I know there was a lot of talking, but I promise you the next video will not be very much talking. There's a lot that we have gotten done since this video, and I didn't make an outro, so I figured I'd do that real quick. We will be right back with more updates and everything that we have done with this build. It's turning out to be awesome. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, share, stay cool, and we will see you next time.